Good morning, students. Today we start our next chapter, Lifelines of National Economy. In this chapter, we learn about the transportation system of India and the communication system of India. As we know that the transportation system can be classified into three parts: landways, airways, and waterways. Let us discuss one by one. First of all, the introduction of this chapter. We use variety of materials and services in our daily life. Some of these are available in our nearby surroundings, whereas other requirements are met by bringing things from other places. The movement of these goods and services from their supply locations to demand location necessitates the need of transport. The common example of the use of transportation system in the life of human being, that is, if a farmer wants to sell its crop into the market, so the farmer should take help from the transportation system to sell its crop from its field to the grain market. So let us start with the transportation system. Dense and efficient network of transport and communication are the prerequisites of trade today, because for the trading system it is very important that a country must has a developed system of transportation so that it can transport the raw material into mills or in the industry and the finished product into the market. So transportation become the base of the development of any country. Pace of development of a country depends upon transportation, because it is connected the different parts of a country. It increases the area of influence of trade, and trade is possible due to the presence of transportation and the communication system. Resources need to be moved from origin to destination. Yes, that origin, suppose a mineral is mining from a place and it reach into the industry with the help of transportation. So next we start that what is the importance of transport. Transport is a system in which passengers and goods are carried from one place to another place. This is the definition of transport, that it is a medium, it is a system by which we can carry the passenger and goods from one place to another place. It contributes to a country's development. How and why? Because this transportation system is the part of tertiary sector, and tertiary sector become the base of the development of primary and secondary sector. Transportation links a country with the rest of the world. India is connected with the rest of the world by airways, by landways, like India is connected with Nepal with the landways, and India is connected with the various parts of the world with the airways and the waterways. It brings trade from local level to international trade. Yes, we are export our Indian products to the different countries market by the use of transportation system. It enriches our life and adds to amenities for comfort of life. Yeah, we can travel by our own cars, by our own vehicle, and by the use of public transport. So this transportation system make our life very easy. Next we discuss that the means of transport. There are mainly three means of transport. One is landways, waterways, and airways. Landways, roadways, railways, and pipelines. Waterways, inland and overseas. Inland means that there are two rivers in India, that is Brahmaputra and Ganga, which is navigable. It means that we can travel with the use of ships, and overseas that with we are connecting by the different seas and the ocean with the different nations. And the airways, two types, domestic and international. Domestic can categorize into two parts. One is public undertaking, that is controlled by the government, and one is private airlines, which is controlled by an individual persons. So the examples of public undertaking like the Air India and Indian Airlines, and the private airlines like the Kingfisher and the Jet Airlines. So first of all we start here, that is the roadways, which is a common system of transport in the life of human being. So let us start that it is a thread that binds the nation together. Roadways in India, it is one of the longest road network in the world. It aggregates about 2.4 million kilometers at present, and roadways carry about 61% of the freight and 85% of the passengers. So this is the description of our roadways system. Next topic is very important, related to our CBSE board examination, that why do roadways have an edge over the railways? When we compare the transportation system of railways and roadways, so which system is better? So on first look, that roadway system is much better than the railway. So how can we say? It shows, this point shows the importance of roadways. Roads require less investment as compared to the railways. These can be built at a higher altitude and at any place. We can easily connect it with the remote areas by the use of roadways. We can construct the roads into the hilly areas, in the desert areas easily. Road transportation is easy and is within the reach of common man. Moreover, it is available for 24 hours. So it is one of the most important of our roadways system. Its maintenance cost is very low. It provides door-to-door services, which the railway is not able to provide door-to-door services, and it is very economical in transportation. For short distances, it is the cheapest means of transport in our country, India. Next, it is very economical in transportation of few persons and relatively smaller amount of goods over short distances. Next is, road transport is also used as a feeder to other modes of transport, such as they provide link between the railway station, air and the seaport. So these are the various points which show the importance of road transportation over the railways. Next, that if we can say that road transport is much better than the railways, on the other way, there are several problems which are facing by our road transportation in India. So what are the problems that are facing by the road transport? First of all, it is inadequate. It means the road density is not adequate to the population density of India. Second, half of the roads are unmetalled in India. It means that they are not in use during the rainy season. हाईली कंजेस्टेड इन सिटीज़, बहुत भीड़ भाड़ वाला जो रोड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन वो शहरों में रहता है, क्योंकि बिकॉज द सिटीज़ आर क्राउडेड एंड द डेंसिटी ऑफ रोड्स इज़ नॉट मच बेटर इन द सिटीज़. मोस्ट ऑफ द ब्रिजेस एंड कल्वर्ट्स आर ओल्ड एंड नैरो. लैक ऑफ फैसिलिटीज़ ऑन हाईवेज like the ambulance, like the telephonic services, etc. Heavy taxes and no proper maintenance of roads in India. There are several problems of road transportation in our country India, like the mixing of vehicles are running on the same road. Heavy trucks, small cars, jeeps, various kinds of vehicles are running on the same road. So these are the several problems of road transportation in India. Next topic is the classification of roads. In India, roads can be classified in the following 6 categories or the classes as per their capacity. Capacity based, we can classify the Indian roads into 6 parts. First one is the Golden Quadrilateral Super Highways, which is connected the 4 mega cities, the metropolitan city of India, that is Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Chennai, Chennai to Kolkata, and Kolkata to Delhi. The government has launched a major road developmental project that links Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai and Delhi by the 6-lane super highways. So it is about Golden Quadrilateral. There are north-south corridor. North corridor is Srinagar and south corridor is Kanyakumari. The north-south corridor links Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu, and east-west corridor connects Silchar in Assam and Porbandar, Gujarat are parts of this project. Corridors that the two remote points which are connected by roads. These are known as corridors. The major objective of these superhighways is to reduce the time and distance between the main cities of India. The highway projects are being implemented by the National Highway Authority of India. These Golden Quadrilateral is constructed and maintained by the NHAI, National Highway Authority of India. Next one is national highways. National highways links extreme parts of the country. These are primary road system and are led and maintained by the Central Public Works Department. National Highway number 1, for example, Delhi and Amritsar, the historical Sirsa Suri Marg. Now you must know about the longest highway in India. Before this, NH7 was the longest highway in India. 2369 km was the length of that highway. But now at present, National Highway 44, which is connected to north to south corridor from Srinagar to Kanyakumari, and the length of this highway is 3745 km, 3745 km, and the shortest highway in India is 47A, only 6 km its length. It links the man-made isle of Villingajan Island with the Kochi bypass. Next one is district roads. These roads are maintained by the Jilla Parishad and connect the district headquarters with other places of district. Next, the state highways. Roadways which are linking a state capital with the different headquarters are constructed are known as the state highways. What are the state highways? The roads which are linking a state capital with the different headquarters, that is known as state highways. These highways are constructed and maintained by the State Public Works Department, SPWD, State Public Works Department. Next road, other roads. Rural roads that links rural areas and villages with towns are classified under this category. These roads receive special inputs under the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. Mainly, these roads are constructed to connect the two different highways in India. These roads are constructed to make a link between the rural road to the city road. Next one is border roads. Border Road Organization, a government of India undertaking construct and maintains road in the border areas of the country. This organization was established in 1960. When Border Road Organization came into existence in 1960 for the development of roads of strategic importance in northern and northeastern border areas. By these roads we can reach in the extreme parts, in the border parts of our nation, like the northeastern part, Arunachal Pradesh with China, and the northern part in the area of Jammu and Kashmir. Next classification, that the material which is used in the construction of road, we can classify the roads into two parts. One is metalled road and second is unmetalled, pakki sadak or kacchi sadak. Metal road may be made of cement, concrete or even bitumen of coal. These are all-weather roads. It means they can use throughout the year, and these roads are mostly found in the cities. Second one is unmetalled roads. These are made up of soil. They go out of use in the rainy season, and most of the rural roads generally unmetalled roads. So this is the classification of roads on the basis of the material used for their construction. Next topic of road transport is the road density. That is the length of road per 100 square kilometer of area, that is known as road density. Distribution of roads are not uniform in India because the construction of road, it depends on the topography and several other factors. So in our country India, this road density is not uniform in our country. Kerala has the highest road density in India. Road density in the state is 528.8 kilometer per 100 square kilometer area. Jammu and Kashmir has the lowest road density with only 10.4 km per 100 square kilometer area. Average road density of India is 142.7 km per 100 square kilometer area in 2011. So this is about the road density of India. So students, today we discuss or we learn the first transportation mode, that is roadways. What are the importance, what are the problems, and how many types of roads on the basis of their capacity, and the material use, about their importance, and about the road density. So you must read the NCERT book with these notes and watching this video. Thank you and have a nice day.